Hi, I'm Ben Meyer.
And I'm Rob Wright.
And this week we wanted to talk about the resurgence of the real-time strategy genre.
Yes.
It seems that the last couple of years there's been a real number of really good games in the genre, and we just wanted to highlight them and talk about kind of our top picks.
Yeah.
So, Rob, what's number one on your list?
I think if we're going to talk about great real-time strategy games in the last couple of years, sort of 2006 and beyond, I think the discussion's got to begin with one title, and that's Company of Heroes.
Yes.
I think it's Relic's, arguably their finest hour. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's a classic. It's probably one of my top 2 or 3 strategy games of all time. I mean, the great thing about Company of Heroes is that it took really good RTS gameplay, but the graphics, I mean, are just...
Graphics are awesome.
They're amazing. And it's not just eye candy. It's the fact that there's a level of detail there that you normally don't see in a strategy game, and usually reserved for just regular action games. And just being able to occupy buildings and blow up buildings, destructible environments, physics, really, really detailed, complicated stuff that just immerses you in that World War II era. Great scenarios, battles like the Normandy, D-Day, Omaha Beach. Just it's fantastic. I mean, it really, to me, I think that just exemplifies sort of the evolution and sort of the improvement of the real-time strategy genre. Just outstanding graphics.
Another one title that really got an advancement with graphics and really updated the franchise was Command and Conquer 3: Tiberium Wars, direct sequel to Westwood's Tiberium Sun way back when, 1999, I think.
Long time ago.
But the graphics just took the franchise and just blew it out. You know, you had same great story, nod, GDI, but you brought the Skrin in as a playable faction this time, which added a lot of complexity to it. And there's so much action in this game, but it never really got overwhelming. It was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
great eye candy.
Great eye candy from an RTS, and that's kind of a theme of this kind of resurgence, is taking that strategy element, but then making it a lot more visually appealing.
Yes, great eye candy. Like Grace Park and Trisha Helfer from Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, who also make an appearance. Fanboy,
Battlestar. Woo! Speaking of eye candy, though, and speaking of just epic battles, epic scale, Supreme Commander. Now, this is an interesting title. It came out around the same time as Command and Conquer 3, and it's from Gas Power Games. It's sort of a spiritual successor to Total Annihilation. It's really interesting. It's futuristic, sci-fi, RTS. 3 factions, like a lot of games, 3 warring nations. And the interesting thing is here, gameplay is kind of centered around these giant mechs that you use. And you can build these experimental technology weapons, these items that are just, they're like weapons of mass destruction. You go out, you collect all these resources, you try to get enough experience to build these giant technologies, and just wreak havoc. It's rewarding. Just not for the faint of heart. Not for a beginner, I think, in the RTS.
Probably not. But I think that's what a lot of gamers like about the RTS genre, is they can go, and there's plenty of games out there that don't take a lot of thought process to get in there. It's just fragging, quick twitch. But actually, the next title we have on our list kind of moves away from that a little bit. Came out last year, World in Conflict from Massive, and it has a really great story, new IP. Essentially, it imagines a world in which the USSR, instead of crumbling somewhat gracefully, decides to just invade America, which is good thing never happened. And it does a really good job at recreating cities. I'm from Seattle, and that's one of the cities that they go to, and you can blow up the Kingdom, which actually did happen in real life, but it was just kind of one of those implosion. Thank God the Mariners don't play there anymore. But anyway, it was again, great graphics, great action gameplay, but they took out a lot of the base building and just got right into the fighting. You just focused on deploying vehicles and weapons and went with that. So it speeded up gameplay. It was a little easier for newer people to the genre to play. So.
And plus it had Alec Baldwin as the narrator.
Oh yes.
We loved Alec Baldwin.
I do love him. 30 Rock.
Yeah, that's great. All right. But another game that's kind of more people say is more tactical than strategy. is Sins of Solar Empire.
Yes.
And now this game is like the sleeper hit. It's probably the biggest story right now in PC gaming for 08. Ironclad Games, 4X strategy game, takes place in outer space. Same type of mechanic with 3 different factions. It's all based on, exploring the galaxy, finding the resources that you need, building up territory, and then building a fleet so you can go out and kick the other guy's butt. It's an outstanding game. It's very easy to pick up, I think. It's got a lot of good user functions, good UI.
Yep.
It make it easy for you to to play and enjoy. And I think that's one of the reasons that it's done so well. And another reason is it does look great. I mean, even for sort of a space sim, that probably maybe 5 years ago would have been like 2D.
Yeah.
Really not that complex.
Not that interesting.
It really makes you feel like you're in there,
out in space.
It's great. So, I mean, that's just, it's a big hit. And there's other titles we
Yeah. I mean, we had to limit it a little bit. But why do you think that there's been this resurgence? Obviously, today's day and age, you think of our culture as being, 3-minute YouTube clips, go. And this is a more, first-person shooter. So why the RTS?
You know what I think it is I think it starts kind of with Company of Heroes, like I said. Just seeing, a developer come in and kind of bring that level of realism and graphics and destructible environments and just making you feel like you're there rather than just kind of a 2D chessboard really kind of changed the game for RTSs. And I think that's why it's a classic. But it's not just about like the graphics. I mean, I think one of the things that's interesting is whether you're dealing with a game like A World in Conflict, that's kind of all attack,
mm-hmm.
or whether you're dealing with a game like Sins of Solar Empire or Supreme Commander, where it's a lot of it is like, build, collect, and then attack, and the attacks are kind of, they're a little bit shorter. I think that strategy, it's bringing something new so people can like compete with other people or against the AI. And it's not just reaction time like with an FPS. It's like you really got to think. You've got to plan it out and you got to execute it. And it feels good when you accomplish something. So.
Yeah. It's the more you work towards an accomplishment, the more satisfaction you get.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, I think,
especially for PC gamers, which tend to be a little bit more advanced as far as gameplay than the average console.
Nice way of putting it. Yeah.
But because it's been one of the bright spots in PC gaming that has been a little bit under the weather lately. Do you see more games going, RTS games going to the console?
I don't know, but I mean, there's definitely. I think there's a lot of RTSs coming out in the next 6 to 12 months for the PC, which is good because that's where it should be, and I think that's going to keep PC gaming healthy, even though it's in a relative decline. But as for the consoles, I mean, I played Command & Conquer 3 on the Xbox 360. It wasn't bad. I mean, I just don't see why anyone would play, if they had the choice between the PC and the console, why they would play on the console. The controls are just, they're too sophisticated for a gamepad, to me. Now, the interesting thing is you've got developers working on Halo Wars, and that's specifically for the 360.
Yes.
360 only, the console, built from the ground up to make it work on the console. I'm really intrigued to see that because I do kind of feel like the RTS, I don't want the RTS to be pigeonholed on the PC forever. It would be nice to see a little bit of crossover and see kind of RTS open up to sort of a new sort of group of gamers.
If any IP is going to do it, it's going to be Halo Wars. Although I can't see the average Halo guy playing an RTS
That will be a true test. That will be a true test. So.
But that's all the time we have for this week. I'm Ben Meyer.
And I'm Rob Bright.
And we'll see you again next time.